So first of all, hello everyone, and welcome to the Women of Cardano event hosted by the team here at the Cardano Foundation. So really delighted to be introducing this event. I'm the Global Communications Director here at the Cardano Foundation. So before we crack on, I just want to say a few words about the theme of this year's International Women's Day, which is innovation and technology for gender equality. So I think it's quite prescient that we're actually doing this event today, and the first one of its kind. So the technology industry, I think at large, has had quite a difficult time, including accepting and retaining women. In numerous studies, it's found that women are drastically underrepresented in STEM roles and really have a tough time carving out a long and fulfilling career in the space. So when I was doing a little bit of research today and I was reading a number of blogs that I'd spotted around International Women's Day, there was two particular statistics that I spotted on the UN's International Women's Day website. One was that women represent less than 1/3 of tech sector employees globally. And two, they found that a whopping 22% of this number were actually considering leaving the space. So I think that's something for us all to sit on and mull over the next few hours. But by bringing more women into the space, I also want to highlight that it doesn't just mean those from high income countries. It means stateless and displaced women. It means those from low to middle income countries as well. And as our partner at Switzerland for New UNHCR highlighted today, that actually means those without their inclusion, a sustainable and equal future is impossible. So we're global, we're decentralized, and diversity includes everyone. So with that said, at the Cardano Foundation, we know the importance of hearing from and promoting a diversity of voices. So only by including them will the blockchain industry reach its full potential. So the Women of Cardano event is our way of highlighting the crucial role that women have played in driving innovation and growth. We want to platform women in this field and demonstrate their contributions. So our panel discussions today will showcase outstanding contributions made by women to the Cardano ecosystem. It will highlight businesses building on Cardano and will also highlight the present and future cNFTs and of course, women in Catalyst. So I hope this event will inspire and encourage you to take part in the blockchain industry and continue to drive women to consider entering the space in the many guises available. So thank you all for joining us today, and I really hope you enjoyed the lively discussions ahead. And I think our first panel should be up.
Okay, great. Hi, Renee. Thank you. And hi, everyone. My name is Juliana, and I'm Cardano ambassador, and I will be leading the panel Businesses Building on Cardano. I'm also host of Cardano Catalyst Women's Meetings, which we organize now more than a year. And the space was created with the intention to build trusted space within the Cardano ecosystem where women can learn from each other and participate in their full potential where they might otherwise have been remained observers. Here with me, I have 4 amazing women who have had the courage to take a seat and openly speak not only about their projects and their successes, but also about their challenges. I have Julian Montag, CEO at Gimbal Labs, Natalie Robinson, CEO at One Up One Down, Nadia Manel, Chief Strategic Partner at Women in Tech, and Cloris Chen, CEO at Kujiko Protocol. I'm very happy that we will be starting and sharing more about these projects. And my first question towards each of you is what led each of you to Cardano and what made you engaged? And I will start with Natalie.
Hi, everyone. It's wonderful to be here. Thanks for having us on this special day. So actually, what led me to Cardano? Juliana led me to Cardano. So Juliana and I actually are co-founders of One Up One Down. We work on the project together. And when we started One Up One Down, building on blockchain wasn't a core part of our vision. I have some experience in the blockchain industry. I worked in accelerators a period of time ago and building blockchain products and have been invested in the industry for quite a period of time. But we were really led to Cardano through relationships. And so we got to a point where we realized that what we were building was actually great. There were some challenges that we were facing that blockchain could solve. And so Juliana and I put our heads together and worked out a model, a tokenomics model, and how we could build one up, one down on blockchain. And after that, one of Juliana's mentors, Jonathan, mentioned Cardano as a community that was really inclusive, great to be a part of, and as a really good first step to start to understand how we could use blockchain to build our business. And so we started participating in Catalyst, and that was the catalyst for what we're doing now.
Yes, great representation of the last almost year and a half. Julie, how about you?
So hi everyone, thank you. Interesting stories, and as always in life, it's International Women's Day, but I think we also need to cherish the men, and especially the husbands, because that was the person who actually made me aware of Cardano. It was my husband. And when I digged into deeper into what Cardano is, what it was a really trigger to me is that it stated it is a base layer of current and future financial and social systems. And with that, empowering the people in the future, the architects of the future. So that's something that I think was quite engaging and purposeful. So I'm from a background mainly in business development my whole life. So change is a constant to me, building functions, teams, projects from scratch. But always it has been the most important thing to me is how to engage with human and how to make change happen. So that translated to what's important to me is really creating impactful relations. And that's how I got to know about Project Catalyst when they called out the first cohort, calling for 50 participants to jump on a crazy adventure. And that's the moment where I initiated an experience of collaborative innovation, and where I met my co-founders, James and Roberto, and actually by an innocent, meaningful interaction that seemed innocent at the beginning, but actually led to what Gimbal Labs is today.
That is really amazing story. Thank you. How about Nadia?
Hi, Juliana. Thank you. So good to be on this discussion, and nice to see all the comments coming through. My journey was a little different. I am based in Dubai. So, and I've always been very interested in this whole digital disruption. I did my executive program at INSEAD on digital disruption, and being in Dubai, there were a lot of events happening around blockchain, and I got curious back towards the end of 2018, beginning of 2019, and I started going to all these events in and around Dubai. But what I soon realized was I was probably one of the very, very few women. There were key stakeholders at all these events. It was always public-private, investors, startups. But the women at the events were either the moderators or behind the booths. And I thought, wow, this is like deja vu happening all over again. So I thought, okay, how can I, being present and invited to all these events, what can I do to change this? And Women in Tech, we are a global organization. We're in 45 countries. We have 200,000 members, and we focus on education, business, social inclusion, and advocacy. And I thought, well, maybe, it's going to take us 250 years to bridge the gender gap. Maybe if we start educating more women in the blockchain space, when there's a need to source talent, women will naturally just be there, and maybe we could meet the gender gap a little bit. So since I would say 2021, I started doing a lot more together with Women in Tech, and I had to learn myself. It was a minefield in the beginning, but in 2021, I started educating internally Women in Tech. We did NFT courses and various education on Google and different community platforms. And then I thought, okay, we need to speed up not only the internal learning, but the external learning. And how do we do that? We find key partners to work with as women in tech. And then I started looking for partners that share our ethos. And Cardano was number one, so we invited Cardano to the May 2022 summit last year. And since then, we've just had a great partnership and started to do more together as an ecosystem. And we want to eventually implement the Cardano education into our Women in Tech Academy. So that's how I met the Cardano ecosystem.
Cool, very interesting. And lastly, you got Clarice. How about your story?
Thank you, Juliana. Hi, everyone. My name is Clarice. Very nice to meet you here. I'm the CEO of Cogito Protocol. We are a DeFi-oriented spin-off from SingularityNet. So SingularityNet is another project on Cardano. And our project is creating alternative stable coins, which we call tracer coins, which they are basically AI-powered and fiat-independent stable coins. So I'm very glad to be on the panel with the great women from Cardano, and I would be very happy to share more about the stories. So Joanna was asking what led us to Cardano and made me engaged, right? So I've been in crypto for quite a while now. So I actually have been hopping around different communities, including Cardano, Ethereum, and many different things. And in terms of how we are committed to build on Cardano, I want to quote my co-founder Ben Gorsho's comment about Cardano. He said, Cardano is a truly decentralized blockchain with the best technology. He's the best AI expert in the world, and he thinks Cardano has the best technology. I think that says a lot about Cardano blockchain. I think that is basically the answer why we are engaged with Cardano. And from personal experience perspective, so I have been talking with many different people in the space, but I want to say that the Cardano community is truly the best. Like the openness and the inclusive culture here makes me feel really motivated and inspired. So when I first started the company last year, so it's been only 1 year's journey, I have received so many generous help from Cardano ecosystem and community. They are giving me feedback on our project development. They are connecting me with other people from different resources, and also they are sharing me a lot of advices from their personal experiences. Like they are doing all of that out of generosity. Like they don't expect anything back from me. This is just the inclusive and the open culture of the community. That's what I like about it. So yeah, to answer the question, the technology and the culture here are what make us stay in the community.
That was absolutely amazing, and I totally share what you said that about the generosity, and actually that made me stay with Cardano for so long because of the same reason. And I see that everyone here is just about the people. That is what makes us different. And so my next question will be more about the business that you are working on and the purpose and what value you are providing. So, Clarice, stage is yours. Let's continue with you.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So this one might be a bit longer, so please bear with me if there are a lot of technical details. So Cogito Protocol is a project that provides a stablecoin as a service framework to create fiat independent stablecoins, which we call tracer coins. So I think everyone knows that if we look at the history of crypto, so many of the early cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, was actually created to provide people with a reliable store of value payment mechanism, right? So that they don't need to depend on centralized fiat currencies. Unfortunately, I mean, despite that, Bitcoin has presented to be a super good and successful investment, it did not work that well as a payment method because of the volatility, right? So stable coins were created as a somewhat solution to that, but most of them are just pinned to fiat, like the USDC, USDT, and many of others are just pegged to US dollars. The problem is, okay, I mean, so first of all, it did very well. Like nowadays, stable coins are basically the primary payment method in crypto. It accounts for 16% of total market cap and over 70% of total transaction volume, which means it's very successful and of course it's significant, right? The problem with those stablecoins, however, is that first of all, it's a regulatory risk, which we are already aware. Like every government, every major government is explicitly targeting at stablecoins with the goal of more strict regulations on any stablecoins, right, that are akin to the fiat currency. Second is like almost all of the current stablecoins are highly centralized, which is like a violation of decentralization nature of blockchain. And then three, almost all of them are US dollar pegged. And we already know, like nowadays, the inflation rate in US dollar is so high. So basically holding stablecoins are devaluing every day, right? So that leads to what Cogito is doing. So we are using our stablecoin as a service framework to utilize the AI technology created by SingularityNet to create new financial instruments that are stable, but are not pegged to fiat. So that's why we create an alternative stablecoin, or we create a new name for Tracer coin. So that's what we are doing. That's our value add here.
Yes, that is very easy. Actually, we'll invite the other panelists if they have any questions about while you're talking, just to jump and share and just ask you any questions, because could be interesting to hear other opinions here. If not, actually, we have some questions in the Q&A area, so then we can continue. Okay, so let's see what other projects are here about. Natalie, do you want to share what we are building?
Yeah, sure. So One Up, One Down, our mission is really to transform learning through relationships. And the initial problem that we were looking to solve with One Up, One Down was really from our own experience, actually being women in male-dominated industries, not having mentors or role models. And so for me, actually, there's a point in my life that I realized all my role models and the people who were informally mentoring me were men, and I felt that there was a big part of myself that wasn't being developed because I didn't have women around me that were really bringing out that part of my way of leading and way of creating and way of being. And so we wanted to work out how, we realized it's not that there aren't the people there available to mentor. It's just that we're not connecting with them. We're not finding each other. And so we set about to figure out how we could make a way to create really high value connections between women across a really large network. And so we do that using AI, machine learning, to take into consideration data about a mentor's current experience and a mentee's desired experience to propose the best possible match across a network. And we also wanted to structure the relationship so that there was trust built, there was space for authentic sharing between the mentor and mentee, but that it wasn't so long, the structure needed to mitigate some of the challenges that come from mentorship, and that's like they can drag out for too long, or the mentor doesn't feel like they can provide value over a long period of time. And so we created a protocol that's each match is 3 months, 4 meetings. And so we've been scaling that, and we've got over 1,000 women from all over the world signed up who we're matching, and we're working with wonderful partners to roll out the infrastructure we've built to women-focused communities. And we're building blockchain into it. So we're working out how we can incentivize mentors, reward them, recognize the contribution they've made to the network through tokens. And we've been working with Gimbal Labs to build out the smart contracts within Cardano.
So let's over to Gimbal Labs. Yeah, so that's quite diverse. We have quite different projects here from different panelists. So let's hear about Gimbal Labs.
Okay, great. So just thanks, Natalie, a great connector, and happy, of course, to collaborate. So Gimbal Labs has ensured his business purpose truly in education, really trying to empower others to solve problems, and on the Cardano, using the Cardano platform. So this actually the The problem we're trying to solve as Gimbal Labs is we know that there's a blockchain developer shortage in the future for all the work that's coming across us. So in the first place, at our core, we really want to focus on the developer education. Nevertheless, proof of concept might tell us a different story, which I'm gonna share with you. So how do we do it? We provide different learning formats to people to learn by doing, collaborate, build relationships, trust, and foster more collaboration. And the core approach to that is the project-based learning approach, like really having experiences while learning that makes the learning real. And to give you an example, we have a playground format that's a weekly open source format where people come weekly. They can sign up for presentation and they can showcase their idea at different stages of development, get feedback, which is very important to them. And it's a very open and safe space we try to create there. So the flow of information, knowledge, and experiences of the participants is very easy because people know that this is a safe space and they can share. We found out we're not only attracting developers, we have entrepreneurs knocking on the doors just wanting to get a critical eye of highly skilled developers on their projects. We have people from different professions, functional expertise that have had no experience with blockchain at that moment, but come in and have a different sector view, have a different functionality or process view, even physiological views that are being discussed. So that really enriches a holistic conversation and a change of experiences and knowledge at the end. And what actually led to it, we didn't program that, but it naturally happened. Being a safe space where creating trust is possible, it's creating also a robust network of people that know they can trust and that they can turn to once they are maybe more advanced in their projects. So it turned out also to be an incubation space for ideas, for loose ideas to come to a conversation that actually turn out after 1.5 years to have formed a collaborative team within the Gimbal Lab space and really trying to set up a startup and actually pursuing a business. So that's one part. Another format we have is the Plutus project-based learning. It's a program for developers learning Plutus by applying it right away. And the beauty of it, they first of all see directly the fruits of what they are learning, and it's so tangible outcome. And again, the connection they're creating and the learning journey they're pursuing in interchanging, discussion, challenging their views is actually what makes it so unique, the learning journey. And each of one of them is co-creating this experience. And that's something we can like be super proud of. And a third part in our work is dedicated to infrastructure work. So the Cardano protocol is distributed and resilient. Is the API infrastructure, is that one really as the Cardano protocol is? And there is a common opinion that, and it's clearly not the case. So Dandelion is dedicating its work to that. It's an open source API layer to provide an entry point for developers to take it, plug it in, an easy way to get started right away with building or testing an idea. So all those pieces together, education, but also the technical part we're providing, is is a bucket of tools and real world use cases that we want to push out there to ignite the public imagination and at the end facilitate adoption.
Very well said. And talking about education, Nadia, over to you. What tell us about how you're engaged and the value?
Thanks so much, Juliana. So, you know, my journey with Women in Tech into Cardano is quite serendipitous. So, but in this sense, Women in Tech wanted to build their platform on Cardano, right? And we started off thinking to ourselves, okay, but we have a goal of basically enabling 5 million women in tech by 2030. And that's a big goal. And what kind of blockchain can help us facilitate that? And it was, but we couldn't go straight into building on a blockchain. It's not something, I mean, you need time, you need resources. And so we thought, okay, with what we have right now, which is since 2018, we built up the community, being in 45 countries and over 200,000 members, and doing our events. The next was the Talent Hub, because we were listening to what our community wanted. And the Talent Hub was helping, we set up a Talent Hub to help companies basically reach the talent pool that we have internally. But that talent pool was screaming at us for mentorship. And so we thought, okay, the next step into developing out our platform, you know, the mentorships that we were doing in the 45 countries was very, very manual. So I went looking online for a mentorship program that was blockchain enabled and could facilitate the capacity that we wanted to do. And that's when I found One Up, One Down. So it wasn't, initially I didn't know that One Up, One Down was part of the Cardano Catalyst program. And I said to you both, like, I wonder if it's like an algorithm on Google, you know, when I'm searching and I'm, you know, working with Cardano as well. But who knows, glad it happened. And we're now working with One Up, One Down at the first point of integrating blockchain into our entire platform build. We also will be building out the academy on Women in Tech, as well as the crowdfunding platform. The academy will have a venture builder aspect to it, where we will help women run through a venture builder program to build their businesses and then plug it into the crowd lending platform, which also is going to be built with blockchain technology to facilitate the funding and crowd lending going to the female-led businesses, because that is still a huge challenge. I mean, I'm sitting in the MENA region. It's 98.5% of women get funded for their businesses, and the rest of the world is under 2%. So our platform will eventually be built on blockchain. We're starting with the mentorship program with One Up, One Down, and next moving into the crowd lending, crowd funding. So yeah, it's exciting, but also a lot of learning. And I think that's such an important part, and why the academy aspect from Cardano's side is also very important, right? Is to provide that education to the ecosystem for that mass adoption. So I'm very excited about that.
And yeah, absolutely. And talking about challenges, what have been the greatest challenges that you have faced so far? Like, tell us more about the difficulties. We love to learn about what we struggle with.
I mean, the difficulty is always access to funding to build, but also understand. It took us quite a time to understand the business model that we needed to build on, right? Because when you have a community, when you've built a community and then you start changing certain aspects of your business model, it becomes a little tricky. You know, and it was finding the right business model that fitted us as a social enterprise to be able to continue being sustainable, but also servicing the community at the same time. So the challenges was really basically building a sustainable business model and then finding the funding which we're still busy with, to facilitate the build of that platform. I would say, business model and access to funding is definitely main challenges in the space.
Yes, yeah. How about Cloris? How about you? What have been the greatest challenges that you have faced?
Yeah. Right. Thank you, Juliana. So the biggest challenge, right? I mentioned just now that we started last year. Did you guys still remember what happened last year? That was like the craziest year that one has seen in crypto for a while, right? So we started the year. The bad news really started with Luna collapse. Remember, Luna is an algorithmic stablecoin, which is basically what we are doing, and that basically like sets fire on our project. And after that, the second biggest problem was FTX scandal, the scam, right? Which basically like makes sabotage the entire industry. And all this bad news, this negative news, worked so much against us because we are heavily hit because of the business nature that we are in, right? So the business sector that we are in. So I cannot think of, I've been in crypto for so long, I cannot think of a worse year for an algorithmic stablecoin project than last year, right? Many people lose faith, many people lose confidence in the entire sector, not just like my project or whatever. But what I have learned is just don't give up, just continue. Just if you believe in what you do, if you think what you're doing is the right thing, just keep doing it. Regardless of how much negativity there is from the market, you just continue on what you're building, right? So, and then it comes to this year, and then everyone starts to realize, okay, actually, algorithmic stablecoin, like decentralized stablecoin, is very much needed in crypto. People start to change the mindset, right? People start to put aside, people start to have a clear picture about what actually happened in Luna, in FTX, and they realize, okay, it's not that the stable coins, the problem is their own like scams or like design or whatever. So the industry itself, the business model itself is still legit. And also like after the US regulators start to put so much like scrutiny on BUSD, like how they paused, so Paxos paused the BUSD insurance, right? So I believe everyone is aware of that negative news on the industry. So that brings more awareness from the community, from the overall space, saying that, okay, we actually need a decentralized stablecoin. That's how we start to get more awareness, get more attraction. People start to agree more on what we're doing. So basically, I would say the worst time has gone, and that was the biggest challenge that we have faced. And by powering through it, and now we are in a better position. Yeah, the lesson is just don't give up.
You're very positive and very positive mindset, and that's very good. What do you say to yourself? How do you stay calm? It is easy to say it. How do you do it?
Well, yeah, that's such a very good point. It's very easy to say it, do it is always more difficult. So I guess it requires a lot of cheering myself up. Like, yeah, there are days where I was frustrated as well, like, where's the future of this? And then I would just keep looking back at, like, why do I start this, right? Like the overall, the reasons that I started this business has not changed. Like the overall considerations, like, okay, the need of this business of a decentralized stablecoin in crypto has not changed. And yes, the market is not good overall, but it's a temporary thing. So I just tell myself to calm down, wait a little bit until the cloud clears. So it involves a lot of self-cheering up. Yeah, I would say, yeah, that's what to do it. And another thing I think I can share is just to talk with people. Like when I was going through the difficult time, right? I'm with the Singularity Net ecosystem. So we have a lot of great leaders in the space. Like they have been in crypto for many years. They have seen many difficult times. Like they have been ups and downs. And I talk with these role models. I chat with them. I get more motivations from them, more inspirations from them. And then they will share with me like their thoughts on what we are doing, and which gives me more confidence as well. So this kind of mentorship that I have experienced from a personal like business development is something I also want to share with everyone else. Like when you are in a difficult situation or when you are experiencing challenges, try to reach out to people. Like find someone you can trust, find some role model that you believe in, and see if you can get some second opinion from there. I believe that helps. That's why I personally am also promoting as a mentorship by myself, like I personally offer mentoring to other young talents in the space that they want any advice for the career or anything. So yeah, that's what we have been doing.
That's very, very generous from your side. Also, everyone who is interested is happy to reach you. That is amazing. And Natalie, how about you? How about your challenges? I think you can relate very well here.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely relate to both what Nadia and Clarissa have shared. And for us, the biggest challenge has been getting resource to do what we want to do. I think that's just always a challenge for startups. Is there's so much that you want to do, but you're constrained by the resource that you have to do it. And so I think like going through the process of raising capital, you're always. Well, there's just a huge learning curve. I don't know if, but I mean, you've really got to there's just so much that you have to learn about how to communicate what you're doing, how to hold yourself in a meeting, how to project confidence, and how to be, it's there's a lot to it, and I think there's a lot from an individual perspective that you've got to learn, but there's also the market to take into consideration too. And saw a stat that less than 3% of VC funding last year went to women. I mean, that's just less than 3%. That's just crazy. And so that's like, I've really realized that, well, for myself, the way we see this through with women that sign up and are seeking mentorship too, there's like the way that women, and this is just a general, obviously this is a generalization, but that we communicate, seek confidence, how we want to express what we create is, there's different elements to it. And the way that the mechanisms for raising money and the expectations for raising money and the structures for raising money are I think really like male dominated, and so I've really felt like trying to find the balance for how we raise money in a way that's like it's transactional but also very relationship based. And so we've been fluctuating through that. We became very transactional and followed all the pitch deck and structures and made it really about like, you follow the process to raise money, and then we sort of, that wasn't working for us. It wasn't who we are. We're really relationship focused people. So then we moved to being more about relationships. And that's been really the great unlock for us, is realizing, hey, it's really is about building relationships. And that's what we focus on at One Up, One Down, is building authentic relationships. And so don't get too caught up. We're trying to not get too caught up in what you should do, and really just focus on the human element of what you're doing, the connection, the touch points that you need to really build trust with the people that you want to raise money from. And so yeah, that's been the big challenge. And then the big learning is business, there's a lot of transactional stuff about it, of course. And you have to show that your business is going to be valuable and you're going to produce value for investors. But don't forget that it's really about humans, and it's about people and connection and building trusted relationships. And when you get too caught up in the transaction, you can lose that authenticity that makes those relationships so powerful. So that's been the learning. And the mentorship, I mean, I feel so lucky that we're going through this process, building a company that's about mentorship, because we're just surrounded by so many amazing people and have really learned how to build authentic relationships through the process of building a product around mentorship.
Thank you. Julie, how about you? We actually are running a little bit of time. So Julie, towards you. How about your great challenges?
I tried to be quick, but I can so much relate to Natalie, what you just said. And I think we should maybe talk more about it, or maybe open up a collaboration space with us and the VCs to really change their minds. Because that's actually, again, my challenge here. What I wanted to expose is the bootstrapping. Because due to the nature of how we were born, education, open source, well, how do you make money out of it? It's not so easy, especially, and linking back, Nadia, what you said, like if you build up a community and you build it up with values, and that's very natural and not something imposed that you need to do, that you really have the connection and the value and the people perceive that value. You just can't change everything to revenue driven and margin driven. You can't. You need to embrace it differently just because of the nature of what you want to build. And that's like so critical to us as well. Like, so we're bootstrapping, and the challenge is, okay, yes, the solution to it is Catalyst funding to some extent, but at some point we couldn't raise it. So but instead, so the positive side of that coin actually is that we're really focusing sharply on the value proposition. Like professionalizing the educational formats for us was foremost the most important thing to do. We don't look at marketing. We don't really push messages massively out. We just grow little by little. The Discord has now almost 1,500 signups, and we have a quite engaged community in there. And it might be super niche, but we're looking at this like little by little. The other part is we really focus on also the core competencies, because to scale in the space of education / open source under the umbrella of Cardano, we need more developers, and we also need more blockchain educators, like blockchain developer that also have the capability to bring it across, even talking tech to non-tech people. And that's not an easy thing. So that's also like a positive thing, that what we're doing is it happens that we're surrounded by people who are just so engaged with what we do and really want to be on the road once we kick it off. Like we kicked it off, but kicked it off with resources, and to get that, find the right model. And again, I thought it very interesting, Nadia, when you say, like, how do you actually put that in a business model? And we stressed this question for now almost 1.5 years. I don't want to say we go back and forth, but we read, we think, we listen to our people, and we said the most natural way is to build it up on a foundation where we ensure the education and the open source space, but also throughout donations or memberships, being able to provide further education, open source, and tools that more people can use.
Yes, thank you. As we are running out of time, actually, I will read one of the questions, and maybe we'll finish with that, which is, and maybe Julie just, or whoever wants to answer it. How do you see the future of Cardano and the blockchain industry, and what opportunities do you think will emerge for women in this space?
Sorry, Juliana, who was that directed at? Was it Julie, or should I just?
That is a question from the audience. So whoever wants whoever has an opinion, we have like 4 or 5 minutes to answer it.
So I want to just go a step in here and say, you know, I'm actually working quite closely with Cardano now to build up the education part. And I think I'm so excited about what we're going to be doing this year. And I felt just having this conversation has been so invaluable, because I'm hearing, and I will move to the community as well and ask for feedback on how we can build out the education through the Cardano Foundation. But just being on this call, it's so clear for different pockets of what's really needed for, you know, building business on blockchain, business models, and there are so many resources within the community, but also in the foundation. And I think for me, what's next is really to make sure that the education that comes from the Cardano Foundation is quality education that keeps up to date and is really core to feeding what the community so badly needs and wants, as well as the businesses that are built on in the Catalyst program, but as well just feeding into universities and other level. I think like one of the participants, I mean, one of the audience said like education is key, and I think that just keeps resonating even on this fall. So I'm very excited to be part of that this year, and look forward to collaborating with everybody on it.
Thank you. And I really want to finish this amazing conversation with a key message for each of you. And if you can share like one thing, one thing that our audience can remember or just want to hear about from you, what would be that? Nadia, go ahead. You're on my screen.
I'm on the screen. I would say network. We don't work on network as well as we should as women, and I think I've really the last 2 years focused on building one. I was with a company for 12 years and then moved out of that, and as soon as I moved out of that, I felt like, my gosh, I feel a little naked because I don't have a network around me to support me, and help me, and I feel exposed. Maybe exposed is a better word, but build your network, because at the end of the day, I mean, it's a bit crass to say, but your network is your net worth. And that means like building out your community, your network that will help you when you ask for something that you can also give back to. So I would say my takeaway would be focus on growing your network, because that at the end of the day is what is the foundation of which you build on top of.
Network. Cool. Thank you. Clarice?
Yeah, sure. Yes, I would say today's a special day. It's International Women's Day. It is for us to recognize and celebrate women's and girls' social, economic, cultural, and political achievements, right? So growing up and even in my personal career development, I have taken advices from so many people. I've taken from so much from the society. I think on this day, I want to share that we are also here to give. And I'm with this great organization, cNFT, which has the most inclusive culture. So we are committed to continue this culture. And as a company, Cogito has been very active in educational sharings with the female community in Asian and African market. And I believe this also aligns with the Cardano's vision of promoting, equality in emerging markets. So we want to take this chance and commit to the community that we will continue doing this in the upcoming years. And that is my key message on this special day. Yeah.
Thank you. Natalie?
My key message is to really seek trusted relationships. So to get to the point where you feel that you don't feel isolated. You always feel that there's someone that you can pick up the phone to and have an authentic, true conversation about what's going on. And that is attainable. You can find if you don't feel like you have that, then you can find it. And One Up, One Down is a way to do that for women in business and tech. We focus on creating those relationships and also teaching people how to enter into those really trusted relationships so that you can let the image of who you feel that you're supposed to be drop and just connect authentically. And it's such a simple practice that is so ingrained in our human psyche. I just feel like a lot of the world has forgotten how to connect authentically. And so that's my key message, is to surround yourself with people that you truly trust and can have honest conversations with.
Thank you. And Julie?
So and to me, I think we are all living in the real world. Like, I want to title it like that. And I would say, like, challenge the way on how you engage in collaboration in the real world and in the blockchain world, because this will change. And if you take on the mindset, what we're trying to experience here in this space, and take it to the real world and just watch the impact that it might have, not trying to force something, but just experience this, because this will come down to all of us. Like, everyone needs to change the way how we collaborate. And you can do something about that today. And with that, I think trusted relationships and networks, like really impactful networks, will be just a result of what you've challenged initially.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for staying with us. And thank you for the audience. Stay tuned for our next panel, which is starting in 8 minutes now. Thank you again. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Juliana. Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, Juliana. Bye, everyone.
I think we're good to start. Good morning, good afternoon, respectful to your time zone. It's 11 a.m. where I am at, and I believe I have a few ladies who are starting their morning early on the next day. We're already talking to the future, so it's really exciting. Welcome to Let's Talk Cardano. This panel is all about cNFTs. My name is Alexandra, or on social media, you can catch me as Ali Illustrated, or under the highlighted name as Cardano Women. That is a project that I lead. And if anything else, you can find me at dropspot.io, which on Twitter is dropspot_IO. And I would love to, share the platform with these other amazing ladies, because I can talk about myself all day, but I want to celebrate women who are standing next to me, essentially, in theory, as it is International Women's Day, and I'm very, very proud of the ladies that we have on for today. If you could, I guess we'll start off from what I can see on my screen. We have Laura first, Laura Richardson, and then we have the Crypto Fairies, and then we have Tiffany from Genius X, and then we have a new lady welcoming to Cardano. It's Kika. And so without further ado, ladies, feel free to unmic yourself and say hello to the Cardano Foundation family that we have here today, and more.
Hello.
Hi,
Good morning.
everyone.
Hi, it's nice to be here.
Hello.
Hello. Happy Wednesday. Happy International Women's Day. If I may, I know we've got your names and details on display there, but if you could please introduce your name, what your handle is, and what you do or are a part of in regards to Cardano or outside of that, because I do believe we have, in our hands in everything. So I think it'd be exciting to hear a little bit about that.
Who would you like to?
I guess, Laura, if you'd like to go first, you're welcome to go first.
Hello, ladies. It's so nice to see you. Sending love from Australia. My name is Laura Richardson, and my social media handle on Twitter is It's Me Queenie. I'm from dropspot.io. Did you want me to, sorry, did you want me to go into how much?
Yeah, what's your role at Dropspot by chance?
Yeah. So I am a director of curation, community, and communications in all forms. And I have been with Dropspot since we started, or since we soft launched back in November, but I've known the original founders for many, many years. And I have although only new to the world of Web3, 6 months, I'm on a steep learning curve and absolutely loving it. I have a wealth of knowledge and experience, background in the creative industries as a whole. I've worked in design, advertising, film, production, photography, basically can produce any media. And I have also worked within the traditional art sector. I've directed art fairs, physical art fairs for Saatchi Art, which is the largest art house in the world online. And I have also worked in Web2 in terms of with a friend, launched a professional network for creatives of all disciplines and creative businesses back when I was in London, and was leading the charge there again as 2IC with marketing, curation, community growth. So although I am new to Web3, I have a lot of equity to pull from and a varying perspective, and I'm absolutely loving getting to know the community. I'm finding everyone to be so genuine, authentic, heartfelt, progressive. I'm very inspired by this world. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to growing as I grow, as I grow with DropSpot and the community grows.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And next up we have Tiffany.
Hi.
What do you do in Cardano?
Yeah, I work at GeniusX as a program manager and investor relations manager. So at GeniusX, we're working with a lot of early stage startups, some also together with DropSpot as well. We recently announced that. So it's a very wonderful collaboration that we're having together to be able to support a lot of great artists out there. And I think we're going to speak to a few of them today. Yeah, that's it's something that I've been working with the GeniusX now for a year. Been working very closely with many different founders from across the globe. So we're fully remote program and accelerating a lot of startups that are building on Cardano. So that's a little bit about me.
Stunning, amazing to hear, and pleasure to have you here on this early morning. And then I believe next we have Kika up on the screen to introduce, as she is new to Cardano, I believe. Welcome, Kika. What have you been involved in overall? I guess I would be a great way to start, as NFTs are outside of Cardano as well.
Hi, Alexandra. I'm super happy to be here. Thank you for invitation. And yes, I've just been onboarded by Laura to DropSpot. So, and my collection is, I think it's there since yesterday, I think, or even today. I mean, the big launch is the whole collection that's paying homage to the International Women's Day. I was very, very happy to discover DropSpot, and I'm super looking forward to discover the community of Cardano, which seems super welcoming because I'm just here and already participating in this panel. I've been an artist for 20 years in the what we now call traditional art world. Although my art was never very traditional, I work basically with video-based moving image and video-based works. So a lot of video installations, videos, and I was always I come from the world of film, but I was really in the contemporary art world for 20 years. Oh, I'm Brazilian, forgot to say. Yeah, and I'm based in Brussels for 9 years now. And I've been in the NFT space for a little bit over a year. And since the beginning, for me, proof of stake was super important. So I went directly to Tezos because there's a big Brazilian community there. Actually, the whole NFT scene was kind of started by a Brazilian. And so it was only logical that I've heard of that before. And but I've been, I think the future is crossing. Okay, there you go, I said it. So I've been in Solana, I'm a little bit on Ethereum, but I think it's for me, art is art, and more than anything, community is very important for me. So that's what I'm hoping to discover here. And I really like, I was talking to Laura, I really like DropSpot, the way it works, the website. So I'm very happy with that. I think it's different, it's fresh, but it's beautiful. I think it puts the art on the right place. So that's very important. And I've been also, so I'm an artist, but I'm also always been a creator as well. And in this space, I'm also a creator. I've been creating and I've been collecting a lot. I actually became addicted to collecting, which is something unexpected. And as a creator, I've done a few online and physical creations with NFTs. And very recently, I became creator of Object, which is the largest platform on Tezos. But I'm here with my artist hat, and and it's I will continue to be an artist. It's a half-time job, and so I continue to be an artist and very, very interested in continue to discover other communities and to, yeah. That's
Awesome. Absolutely wonderful. We have two other ladies on the panel, and I would like to give the floor to, first and foremost, the fairies. They're very popular in the ecosystem. We want to say hello and good morning.
Good morning.
Good early morning, 5 a.m. nice and early, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely. You are, oh, there we go.
Yep, so I'm Tinkerbell, I'm one half of the fairies. We're a duo and we're a dynamic duo, we like to refer ourselves as. We've got Fairy Godmother and Tinkerbell. We use our intergenerational wisdom to sort of teach different morals on the blockchain and sort of bring an ideology from Web 2 that we don't want to bring into Web 3, because there is a lot that we do want to bring from Web 2, but there's something that we kind of feel like we should leave behind, like the toxicity of the office culture sometimes, the way that we interact with each other, the con artistry of the past and the slidings and all of that stuff. We just want to try and make it a bit more transparent, because that's sort of one of the reasons that I joined the blockchain, the transparency cause. So if we want to be more vulnerable, more real, more raw, yeah, and I'm an artist, I've studied art and I'm a leader, a thought leader, a speaker. I like to have an opinion and I like to create change. And then Fairy Godmother.
And I don't know if you can see, I'm the Fairy Godmother. We are a mother and daughter duo. I've worked 25 years in private banking, so I know all about finance. We're here, we've sold out our second NFT project after 274 days. So if we can do it, anyone can do it. We have team, we've built our social medias up. Oh, I can't even talk about how much we love our community. So,
absolutely splendid. And another veteran we get a chance to say hello to is Maria Carmo. She's been here since before I joined the space. Welcome, Maria.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to be here. You don't know how happy I am to be here with you. A long time ago, 2020, it was very hard to have many of you here, and I'm happy that we got to this moment. So just a brief introduction. I am here since Fund 1 of Catalyst, and then Fund 2 with Lovelace Academy. I am SPO for Cardanistas. It's the biggest pool in number of people in the entire blockchain. We are almost 11,000 people. I am a host and a content creator for Lovelace Academy and Maria Carmo 369. Everything I do is about Cardano. I live in Cardano every single day, every single hour I'm awake.
I have seen you everywhere, and it's a pleasure to have all of you beautiful ladies up here, as you have done a fantastic job of already answering my first question as to how you got started and what led you to Cardano. A lot of you seem to have, found your perfect niche somehow, some way, whether it's with a marketplace, as an artist, as, some form of marketing, and of course, education as well. I wanted to dive in and ask, as beautiful as it seems that our journey has been, I wanted to tap into something that's not really talked of often. As when I first came into this space, a lot of the things that I saw was a gender gap. And I saw that also as a hurdle to come over into getting into Web3 and specifically into Cardano. Have there been any obstacles that you have had to overcome or think that still needs to be addressed as challenges for Web3 as women or as individuals as a whole? And anyone can take and contribute to this question.
Okay.
Fairies, you're up first.
Always talk. We always talk. We just want to say, like, being in a new industry is a really exciting opportunity because we come with a lot of challenges. So such as like collaborations, we're always being asked to do things like do collaborations, but you need to recognise the value of your own time, of how important you are as well as a person. Because in the beginning you think, this is great, this is great, this is great. Because we've been in the space for a long time, we know now that we've done a lot of things and then people are still not around. And sometimes in life you have to take chances, but you also have to think to yourself, what's in it for me? A little bit of the way, like being nice, but we've spent a lot of time. So with the challenges, you always have to look because you're working with the world. You're not just working with your neighbour. So you just have to be, so that's the challenges that like we kind of found a little bit is how we prioritise our time.
Because that's just obviously what you're faced with being in the new industry, the naivety of it, and you all need people to work together and build, but that trustlessness obviously comes from building a new community. And if you give that trust to everyone, sometimes your time gets taken advantage of. And that's one of the biggest challenges that we found, time getting taken advantage of and how you value your time. So that was basically our answer.
Wonderful answer. Absolutely. I think that bleeds over from Web 2 and Web 3 as a whole, that you want to value your time, and who else knows how precious it is than all of us who, you know, are multifaceted, doing a lot of things. We have moms up here on the stage, we have daughters, we have, you know, a lot of, you know, facets that we take part in, and we have to be mindful when we are contributing our time to certain things, and we want to be productive as well when it comes to having an impact with NFTs or even outside of that. I did want to open it up if anyone else wanted to contribute to the conversation about any challenges that you might have faced. I mean, we are in a bear market. I can't say it's the easiest thing that anyone can deal with, but it's something that nonetheless we're striving at, and here we are still working to look forward to the next bull and so on and so forth. I believe, Maria, you had something, or Kika, sorry.
I think this, I think, oh, sorry.
Maria, you're welcome to. Maria, you still
I think one challenge that we have to overcome is thinking. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello? Okay. So one of the challenge that I see over and over and over again, every single room I go into, it's the most of us think we need to be invited to be here. And we don't. It's open source. It's open to anyone. And I think there is a place to everyone. The most of people in the community think I'm a coder. Somehow, I don't know, because I don't look like a coder. I mean, like very nerd, this type of stuff. But they think I'm a coder, but I'm not. I am a secondary teacher from a public school in Brazil. And I think here was the opportunity to change lives, to grow. And I just said, I think I want to learn something that I might be able to tell people, to teach people, so they will have better decisions to take when they have the information.
That's cool. That Maria is also Brazilian. I just understood that. Yeah, I just again, I'm pretty new in this community, but what I've been feeling in the whole of the NFT communities across chains is it's a massive presence of male artists, but much more than that, of male collectors, and that ends up reflecting on the sales. And I'm not very sure how. I'm not very sure if it's a taste issue, or if it's true that in the space we are much more somehow anonymous, and somehow you can't even hide behind the you know, the avatar, or the you can use a name that it doesn't need to be linked to your gender, and sometimes you don't even know if it's a woman or if it's queer or if it's a man. But still, there's something that makes that, even though there's less women artists in the space, it's not such a huge gap, but the sales gap is huge. At least I can say on Tezos, from the 50 best-selling artists, 1 is a woman. So 50 to 1, it's not acceptable. And so what can we do to change? First of all, analyze the situation. Why does that happen? And it must be a number of factors. But what do I feel is that a lot happens on Discord, on Spaces, on DM groups. And especially on Spaces, when I enter certain spaces, I feel it's very crypto bro type of conversation, that it does alienate women, and especially alienates women who doesn't speak English very well. Which I don't even, I mean, I speak super well English, but I don't have the way of speaking, you know, of, for example, US white American man. It's a different type of dynamics, and on certain spaces that has a lot of, with collectors with a lot of money, with you know, bigger pockets that could do the big sales, they tend to be like that. And so that's when you feel a bit yeah, that's a problem, because those are the collectors. And so maybe that's why they end up, maybe naturally, maybe it's not consciously, but they end up collecting their friends, their bros, the people that they know they're closer to, in DMs and in Discord and in spaces.
I'd like to chime in, if I may, because I got very excited actually when Maria talked about, you said that you were a secondary school teacher. First of all, Kika, I thought that was really interesting and insightful, what you just said, you know, talking about in the Discord. And of course, I don't really have that experience yet. But for me, zooming out, you know, especially when I worked in the creative industries, Web 2, advertising, design, you know, like the crypto fairies, Tink. I think what's happening, you know, in the ad land, you know, only 1% of women are actually getting to executive creative director level or creative director level globally, you know, and that's like, boom, like, why is that, you know? So to bring me back to my point about schools, you know, these girls, these little girls, you know, we need to start this early. I see this with my daughter, she's 6. I've only been doing, you know, with DropSwap, launching 6 months, and already she, you know, she's an artist, I was an artist, and she's already creating all these images that she wants to create NFTs. She's inspired, she's 6. You know, I think we need to start really early to help these children understand and know that they can be anything they want. You know, traditionally it was like a doctor would be a man and a nurse would be a woman. You know, slowly it's changing, but more work needs to go into that really malleable, you know, young generation. And you know, we are doing an amazing thing. The few of us, you know, it's 5 to 15%, and so I believe, that are art sales that come from women. You know, that was such a really big shock to me. It saddened me. It motivated me to work with Ali through DropSpot to create our International Women's Day campaign. Yeah, we can be these role models, and we're courageous, and, you know, come with such great intentions. And I'm really proud to be a part of that, because actually, you know, for me, my life purpose is using my skills and my gifts to serve others. So I'm already seeing this knock-on effect with my 6-year-old, and it's bloody exciting. So I think, yes, we can take steps now within our community, and we are, but it's the younger generations, because they need more role models, you know. And going back to art being, you know, the traders or collectors are male, and they buy from males. You know, you see in VC firms, you know, they only back firms, you know, startups traditionally are led by men, you know, and they will only invest perhaps if another man has, you know, because it's kind of subconsciously, consciously been in the brain that men are more successful, they're more reliable, they, you know, all these softer skills have just been completely shoved to the wayside, You know, for a very, very long time, we've lost that connection, the creativity, the flow, the intuition, the empathy, the social and emotional intelligence that the feminine, the divine feminine bring. But thankfully, not thankfully, like the divine feminine is rising. It's our time, but we do it with grace and we do it with humility and we take everybody on the journey. And that's really beautiful, I think.
Absolutely incredible. Fine points added in
just
here.
quickly say something?
Yeah.
We just wanted to chime in with the youth thing, like fully agree, because we've just registered a charity in Australia. So one of our ultimate missions is to be working with anxiety and youth. So obviously that's where we come from. The malleable word we use a lot as well. I call it like the sponge part of the brain, which is like, it's very like easy and susceptible. And if you get in the wrong way, that's whatever gets put in your brain at that part of life is going to stay there for a long time, and you're going to create different like decisions off of that. So we're trying to create a charity to try and bridge the gap between technology and youth and how they interact with it, like with the bullying and the trolls and the not so nice atmospheres sometimes in some certain web spaces. That's what we're trying to bring as well. So I fully understand and get it with you.
And I understand, because it does start at a very young age. I've got 3 children. Molly's my oldest, she's 30. And as a business, I've got a 16-year-old son. So I understand the male. We have to learn these words. We have to learn GG, buzzing. You know what it is. Blockchain, we're going to make it. 95% of our buyers were male. So
that's the kind of like the variation of having a business and being an artist at the same time. So you have to be able to create your art as a creative, like I create my art, and then see what your target audience is as well. And at the moment, if like sometimes I say to fairy godmother, not good is not bad, it's a fact. At the moment, we have a high amount of men in our industry. So as a businesswoman, how do I combat that? But then as a creative, how do I target an audience and be creative in myself too? So that's something that being your own boss and being an artist at the same time is a challenge that you face anyway.
And we have to teach men to be kind. It's gangster. They don't understand, like every man who's online, their woman thinks that they're having an affair. They're not, they're just playing a game. They're just doing something. So that's what the fairy godmother comes in for, to tell them and put people in place. We're just trying to bless the blockchain, because at the age of 6, Queenie, girls can be mean to each other. They really can.
Mm.
Great points and great challenges that we've seen here. I see that Tiffany wanted to chime into the conversation as well.
Yeah, I was gonna just say I really
not an artist.
Oh yeah,
excited here.
I was gonna say I really liked both what everyone has been saying, and also Laura, what you touched upon about how I think women tend to go about things also like in sharing their success. It's more through like humbleness and through grace, and maybe that's also where sometimes there's a bit of a fault in that. We don't celebrate enough our successes, and especially women who are more like top up, like management positions, or who are, leading companies, or who are founders. They're not as highlighted, or, not as showcased in front of the world. And that's where it all stems from, is like from a young age, being able to see role models who are producing and who are building great companies and who are actually adding value to certain industry. And of course, this also includes blockchain as well. So I think we're getting there. It's also about, we're just like slowly being able to like just tip the ice on who all the women that are actually building in this space, and bringing a voice as well, to also give them the confidence to be able to showcase what they're doing and present their, whether through NFT collections or building businesses or being a developer. I think we're getting there, but we just need to be able to continue to communicate our stories and hopefully inspire the next generations.
Yeah.
I love this, and I love actually hearing from all of you guys. We have a good portion, probably outnumbered here, mostly artists and creators in their own right, but you have each individually added in, the opportunities are available in NFTs that reach beyond just being an artist. And I was curious to see if I could hear from each of you, what would you say are some opportunities that people don't know is available for them in NFTs alone? When I was first coming into NFTs, I thought it was just artists, but sitting here today, we've got marketers, we've got, you know, educators and things, and there's still much more room to be involved in NFTs that a lot of people tend to overlook. And I think it's important to highlight some of these opportunities to show that there's still room for women to come into the space, and not even just women, but just overall, if you have, you know, looking at the Web2 resume from each of you, the skills that you've brought over to Web3, what has led you to finding these positions, if that makes sense.
Could I start?
Yeah, go for it, Maria.
So what I brought from Web2 was like networking, be good at people, listen to people, get feedback, get back the loops of feedback, and building stuff inside of what people give to me as feedback, building products and opportunities. This is the main thing. And then I got a little bit of didactics from my degree, because as a teacher, you learn how to make things very complex, easy to understand. And I think this was the wow thing that we got in Cardanistas. We get very complex things on Cardano. Every Sunday we have a live, 4 o'clock, and we get very hard, complex things to understand, and we break down in small pieces. So I think this is what we brought, but I think everybody has a piece to contribute, even if you're not an artist or you're not a collector. I am a bit of a collector. I start back then when NFTs was sold by mail, like Professor Cardano, I don't know if you heard, and many others, and then it grows so much. I am the time in Cardano NFTs where it lasts weeks. Today you can have a drop and it's lasts 5 minutes. I don't know if you are all aware about it.
Absolutely, it's crazy how fast this space moves. And even then, there's a lot of things that go into making a drop successful and be what it is. I've seen, you know, one of our quote unquote blue chip projects I saw earlier today made a post about the women who are involved in the team. Outside of just being the artist, you have the marketer, you have the community manager, you have community associate that makes sure that, you know, the vibes are right, event planners and things, because outside of what we're looking at on the computer right now, there's still the world that goes on outside of what's on the computer screen. You know, we have camaraderie and time to hang out with each other and celebrate these things at, you know, a block party or anything outside of that. And so if anyone else wanted to chime in, I know that Tiffany, you're not exactly, you know, an artist, but you have some great contributions from Genius X, what you've seen people get involved in and out of NFTs.
Yeah, maybe I first touch a bit about from my professional background, like previously. So I used to be an architect and then work in the automotive industry for marketing communications, producing computer-generated images using 3D models. And that's what really initiated my interest into blockchain technology, just because it's something that is very innovative and there's so many great use cases, especially for NFTs to be utilized. And through Genius X, there's definitely a lot of interesting use cases, definitely more towards like NFTs being used as utility, either for access to certain community like memberships or for example, like metaverse, land plots, can also be like social media tools. So there are plenty of use cases. I mean, even Genius X has their own NFT that will tap into the staking mechanism. So there's just countless things that are happening, and I think continuously we're discovering new and new ways that NFTs can be utilized to really engage certain audience and unlock new potentials.
Yes, Laura, go for it.
That really inspired me. Thank you, Tiffany. I was just thinking about unlocking, and you said it. I feel like NFT is like it's a door, right? It's a portal to this whole other world, you know, this oasis, this Shangri-La. And it's really, yeah, it's very exciting to be, you know, kind of going through The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe through to this other world. They are really a great connector, aren't they? I mean, art always has been. We connect, or, you know, communities connect through a love of any shared interest. You know, you can do a course and be with a bunch of people that you probably wouldn't hang out with, but because you love writing or you love painting, you know, you become firm friends. I think that's the really beautiful thing about NFTs, that there's this diverse melting pot of, you know, obviously some room to become more diverse in terms of like female and BAME and LGBTQI and all the rest of it. So, you know, together we can make those changes. But this beautiful melting pot, and I think with Dropspot is definitely what, you know, my mission is has always been, is to build communities where meritocracy is at the heart, you know, regardless of your circumstance, regardless of your background, where you live. You know, that's the great thing again about Web3. It doesn't matter where you live. And it, you know, it's very exciting for me, who was always a creator or a creative, an artist as a child, and then I stopped creating in terms of like putting paint to paper in my teens. It's another channel for me. It's another exploration tool, you know, and I see very much coming with my Web2, you know, Adland film production background. It's another tool in the box, right? It's an out of the box opportunity of thinking that inspires exponential ideas, routes, you know, and yeah, it's so, again, you know, with Dropspot, we've made a platform so intuitive to use and so easy and free. You know, really, it's kind of backing that notion of meritocracy, because we understand that we need new ideas. You know, the world needs new ideas to solve problems, and so we just want to bring as many people in, and those varying perspectives. It's the coming together of those different minds and varying perspectives that can create winning solutions. You know, ideas don't grow in a vacuum. So, you know, amplify that with such a progressive and understanding and supportive community. God, you know, like we can create magic, you know, like if you can imagine it, it's a reality. So what do we want to design here? You know, like the sky is the limit, and that's what's bloody exciting. Ooh.
Absolutely. I love the passion and enthusiasm here on this panel. Absolutely great minds to contribute to the conversation. I believe Kika had something, and then we'll go on to the next and final question as we get ready to wrap up our panel here. Kika.
Sorry, you hear me? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I got a bit sidetracked because my husband said that we were too loud and my daughter couldn't sleep. But yeah, I wanted to say, I remember now that I was reading the questions also on the chat, and people asking some like I'm an artist, traditional artist, how I can start, and you asking about the opportunities in the space, and I was just thinking how it's I'm very, very excited about the NFT space. I really think it's a huge revolution, and I feel it's crazy that people outside, the normal people, the normies, still didn't get it. You know, that when I go to everywhere for the past year, I'm really the annoying person who only speaks about NFTs, you know, whenever I go, you know, in parties and family, I kind of onboarded my whole family because they just wanted to shut me up, you know. Okay, I'm gonna just make this fucking wallet, you know. But I think it's how to make it more mainstream, that people understand that this is, yes, of course, I'm passionate about art and about the use of NFT on art, but I really believe that in a few years, everything should be, every transaction should go through, you know, blockchain and NFTs, because it's so much easier. You know, me and Maria, she understands, we come from a country that has a lot of bureaucracy, and the whole, you know, the transactions with NFTs makes everything so easy. And, you know, now we're going to work, me and Thomas, we're going to work with AstraZeneca in Brazil pharmaceutical company to make a artistic performance, nothing to do with NFTs. But we've been doing these performances in other countries, and always is a pain in the ass to send the money. And now I close my company in Brazil. They have to send the money in Belgium, and I know it's going to be a whole month to figure out how to do it. So in the meeting, I was like, well, we can accept crypto. And they all look at me like I was a complete alien. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah, but maybe this conversation won't be so crazy in a couple of years or 3 or 5 years, that every type of, especially creative work, we travel a lot. We work in the whole world. So why not use crypto, and also for donation. It's so easy. It's so incredible, fast and easy and important, when every time there's a tragedy in the world, the community gets together, organize some type of community wallet or donation wallet, and immediately, like in a matter of hours, we can start donating. So that's incredible power. And I'm just thinking how can we communicate better with the outside world, because I think everybody should benefit from this. Anybody now can be a collector. I don't have money, and I have over 2,500 NFTs, I think, in my collection. So why? It's not because I'm rich. It's because it's possible. It's much more affordable, and you are connecting directly with the artist. So it's a really great feeling to collect. And it's different from collecting in the traditional art world. There's another even social function, collecting on an NFT. So all these people who love art and who don't have any courage to enter, a white cube, fancy gallery or the money to do so, they now can have a collection. And something I've been doing since the very beginning is that now every gift I give is an NFT, or if I really like the person, an NFT collection. I open a wallet, I create a selection of 15 artworks, I give 2 of mine, 1 of my husband, and then I set up a virtual gallery. I invite them over, I put them the VR goggles, and I say, oh, look at this exhibition. They go, wow, this is amazing. And then in the end I say, it's all yours. And they go like, what? Then I have to explain for 1 hour what it means. But it's just, they feel, okay, this is real, this is tangible, and it's mine. And so it's a great feeling. So I think every one of us, we have to do this work of onboarding and onboarding more women, because there are not enough women collectors.
Absolutely. And Maria, you had something to chime in back to Kika.
So I would ask a favor from you all. I am everywhere in Cardano, and I would like you to go to Idea Scale, where we write the proposals and look the proposal for toolkit for legislators. It's just because Kika said about we are being from Brazil and there's a lot of bureaucracy. I have plans to kind of do write a book with all blockchain terms, explain they're very easy, and deliver it in an event in the Congress in Brazil, to get people on board, because everyone needs to be on board. It's not about taxes, it's not about paying off money to government, but it's once again one more project that I would like to take on as educational project. So if you could go there and maybe make a comment, and we can make it better all together.
Absolutely incredible. And here we are, we're hearing about writers, we're hearing about artists, we're hearing about accountants, we're hearing about all kinds of opportunities that just stems from NFTs alone. The world is your oyster. And I think Maria said it best: when you walk into a room, it's not because you're invited, you own the right to be there because you are you will have so much to offer, whether you know it or not. And I think, we were talking about mental health here. A lot of us have, come forth with saying that we have imposter syndrome. And I've recently learned that it's not a syndrome. It's not something that I'm stuck with, and it's not an ailment. It is just simply an experience that I have for the moment, and then I have to brush it off and get back to realizing that I'm here for a purpose, for a reason. And what I'm doing is valuable to helping not only myself, my friends, my family, but it's helping other people that I don't even know exist. whether they know it or not, or even, you know, when I'm not around, they're still going to have an impact from these NFTs, from, you know, what we're building here on the blockchain. And so, you know, there's so much technology that's at our fingertips with potential. We've got AI doing, you know, the writing for us. We've got AI doing the art for us. We've got AI doing so many things that is helping a lot of the stuff, but it's also something to not take advantage. It's just simply a tool for us to use. And I do believe that we're reaching towards the end of our questionnaires here up on stage, but we have plenty of the audience members who have questions to chip in for our Q&A section that will go individually to each and every one of you. But I wanted to just end on, what are you excited about now and what's coming up next for each and every one of you as we wrap up this segment?
Survive the bear market.
Survive the bear market, for sure. Fairies, you're on mute.
I don't know, I keep on disappearing.
It's like magic act. You're like, where you gone?
Yeah. No, we're really excited about our new collection on Dropspot. We've got the Mali collection on Dropspot, the mid-belly pieces, but we also had some big news that we announced yesterday as well, and we're becoming a registered charity in Australia. So we're really excited to have that.
So we've done constitutions, policies.
Lots of legal counsel.
And lots of legal work. Yes, it took a bloody long time.
But we're very excited to come and help.
Because we have to change the world. Anxiety is too much. And I'm not an artist and I'm not a developer, but I know how to raise a good human. So
I agree with what Kika was saying about how, like, we obviously were trying to work with like industry experts in Australia. We have quite a few connections here with Blockchain Australia, and accepting NFTs as donations and accepting crypto as donations. We have to write policies for that, because even though we are in a decentralized world, there is still bureaucracy involved in it, and we still have to write a policy on accepting NFTs as donations and stuff like that. So we're trying to utilize the blockchain in our next venture as well.
And we're talking to large mining companies, but shh.
I think I can just say that I'm, first of all, very excited about this drop with Dropspot, and I'm curious to see how my life on Cardano is going to develop. I'm very excited about my role as creator of object. Is brand new, and it's very exciting to discover artists. I was doing that as a collector, but now to actively do it every day, it's very challenging and interesting. Every time, all the time, there's new invitations coming up to do physical exhibitions everywhere. So yesterday I got one to do one in New York and London. So it's that's something that's very important, I think, for traditional artists to understand, is that the speed here it's another world. It's like, you know. So it's in this 1 year here, I got 2 gallery representations in physical galleries, one in Paris and another one in Milan. And I've been looking for representation for the past 10 years. You know, it's been 10 years that I don't have a gallery. So it's just, it moves in another speed, and there's a lot of things happening at the same time, and it's a bit too much. But I will survive this month. And I think April is going to be more calm. But I think it's every artist should just you know, not think too much, start, because once you start, you understand. Once you collect is important. As an artist, you should collect as well. Very important to get into the community and to understand what it is, what it means, really. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then Tiffany and Laura, anything last before we head over to Q&A?
For me, I think, the future is continuing to support, you know, passionate builders and founders, and see what comes out of the space, and just excited, looking forward to that.
Fantastic. Laura, the icing on the cake, you're last.
I feel like I've spoken a bit. I'm always excited about everything. That's just my kind of standard. Of course, professionally, I'm incredibly excited to be taking with the team DropSpot out into the galaxies and beyond, and meeting so many incredible people, creators, and everybody that helps to make up this dynamic space. And personally, I'm just looking forward to making lots of friends and learning and sharing my wisdom, because I've learned that if I keep myself small, then I'm not only doing myself a disserve, I'm doing you guys and everybody else a disserve, which kind of echoes what you were saying before, Ali. So much looking forward to this year of firsts, as I'm calling it, and there's no shame in that. So imposter syndrome, you're my superpower.
Absolutely incredible. Well, thank you everyone for joining. And I wanted to say, you know, in regards to this panel, we have women who are, as you can see, NFTs have connected us. Some of them I've had the pleasures of meeting in person, some who I have yet to have met. And yet we're still connected in some shape or form, from Genius X, from artists, from DropSpot, from Lovelace Academy, stake pools, and everything. You know, the world is your oyster, and just goes to show that, you know, you get to have an impact, whether you know it or not. And who would have thought Twitter would have been the one to create this, you know, unity for all of us here today, and looking forward to doing this again next year or for many years to come, not only for International Women's Day, but for many, many other days that we have to cherish each other. And, you know, thank you to the men as well who've helped put this event together and helped support us and got us to where we are today. So I think there was some Q&A that we had to chime in. I think there was, thank you to Lioness. He had asked, what do the ladies of Cardano have planned for the metaverse and utilities coming for Cardano? And I think we have just a few minutes to answer that one. I can chime in on that one. But Maria?
Go on. No, go on.
I didn't get a chance to say too much about my project being Cardano Women. You know, I've been excited, you know, from the fact that I was angry that there wasn't enough women in the space, and finding all of the women since then. You know, my project is a culture conservation project that is going to be blooming. And I think that, you know, as we talk about this technology, saving a lot of us, you know, a lot of headache and heartache from money, you know, access, and just having a voice. This is an opportunity that I get to showcase what I'm proud of, and also display what I believe that many other women would be very proud of, and men. You know, where you come from is very important to recognize, you know, where you started and where you're headed. And so, talking about metaverses, a shout out to Future Fest, a project on Cardano that it hosts virtual events, and we're hosting one at the end of this month, specifically on March 24th, and everyone is invited to listen to women DJs and listen to just everyone talk about NFTs. If you have any questions, it's open to Web 2, Web 3, and there'll be an artist hall. So if you have art that you want to display, it's not just limited to Cardano NFTs, but if you have any NFTs, you're welcome to apply. I'll plug that into the chat so everyone can find it easily. And yeah, Maria, you're last.
No, I was just going to just say, people take a look on Virtua or cornucopias. There is another one that I forgot. There is one more metaverse in Cardano, so people can take a look and decide where they want to go, but they are completely different. There are some games, there are community. Pavia, yes, Jaime said that to me. It's Pavia. So just take a look in all these projects and see how you think about them. They are all about metaverse, about building community, about bringing your community in. But I think it's very early yet for this technology as well. We need to evolve a little bit the blockchain and the code to get there. I don't know what you think.
I agree. There's still so much potential. We're just at the very beginning stages. We laugh because we've been here for a year or two, but it's funny enough to still say that we're still very early with a lot of the things. We're still very early in, you know, the population of who's involved, and we are very early in regards to startups. If you want to get involved, feel free to reach out to any of these ladies. And if they don't have the answers, I know that they would be able to connect you to someone who does. So thank you to everyone. Any last words before we get ready to let the next panel chat about Project Catalyst, I believe? Oh, I think there was one last question. Umar had asked about, for the artist perspectives, could we hear from, gosh, so many questions in here. Let's see. Umar, can you ask that one more time, your question? It was a very wonderful question. How did how can a traditional artist get their foot into the cNFT space, and is there any guide? Anyone want to chime in?
Well,
sure. Sorry, I said in the chat, we can learn from each other. So we have blue chips projects in Cardano that already work so well. So you can go and look at all these projects, maybe 5, maybe 10, take your own decisions, what you want to do, and then you can build your own stuff. It's my take, I don't know.
Laura,
I think from my perspective as well, having directed, traditional art fairs and worked with artists of all different mediums, it can be a very solitary profession, and that's a blessing and a curse. And it's also a very elite space, with often, need to be in those major cities or have been to the best art schools, or perhaps your parents are friends with the gallerists, etc. So, I think by creating these easy to use marketplaces, and actually connecting to the people that care and want to bring, that see the benefit in NFT and the exponential opportunities, and connecting with us and helping, we've had the privilege and the benefit from it, and it's now about us sharing our wisdom and helping more people join the NFT party, as I like to say. So I think, choose a marketplace that works for you. You like the ethos, and connect to the real people, and take it from there.
we're a little bit over, but Crypto Fairies, you're last, and then we'll get ready to say hello to the next panel.
Because I was an artist that started in the space from the traditional world, and I done it all by myself, grassroots. So there's just to big up a few people, there's a lot of educational resources for artists who don't understand technology, because I was a novice when I started as well. Nudes is a great resource. There's an Alexandra Tap project. I sat down for about 12 hours and just rewatched the videos. Like any artist that has an interest in technology as well, there's the resources out there, and that's sort of why this industry is what it is, because it is open source, and Cardano have really great resources, and everyone's super willing to help. So.
And we are the devs.
Fantastic. Lots of resources for sure. Too much to put into 45 minutes, but thank you, Cardano Foundation, for hosting such a wonderful event, and at the same time highlighting a lot of women, specifically on International Women's Day. Thank you, ladies, for carving out the time to join on this panel and join me in the conversation. And thank you to the audience for asking very insightful and incredible questions. And so on to the next panel. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ellie. Thank you, everyone.
Take care.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Women in Catalyst. My name is Stephanie King from Lido Nation. I am calling in today from my home in Minnesota, USA, where it is currently snowing. I started participating in the Cardano ecosystem by helping my friend and co-founder Darlington with writing and designing educational content and articles for LidoNation.com. Lido Nation started as a Cardano stake pool, but has grown into a resource that includes more than 100 articles about blockchain and Cardano, and numerous other tools, including the Catalyst Explorer, the Every Epoch Quiz Challenge, where you can earn Hosky tokens for taking a quiz, an NFT project, a Cardano lab in Nairobi, Kenya, which fosters developer mentorship program and Swahili translation of Cardano educational materials. And I think more, just so many things. And our participation in Cardano's Project Catalyst is a huge part of Lido Nation and my story and how I got here, and how we've been able to keep building on Cardano. So I'm here today to talk to some other women about Project Catalyst. Project Catalyst is an exciting and inspiring global experiment in the Cardano ecosystem, but for it to really be the best it can be will require the best of all of us, including women. This panel is all about featuring women in Project Catalyst. What is their origin story? What are they working on? And what is coming next? So with me today is Mercy Fordwu from WADA, coordination lead at WADA, Ada Remova, who is a wellness advocate and founder at Ada Well and Wellbeing DAO, Angela Gatende, who is a smart contract developer, and you can see some of her work at Yumi.ai, and Melanie Duhan, who is a co-founder and CEO at Melody Designs and Living Greens Urban Farm, which sounds so cute and exciting. I'm thinking spring, Melanie. And is that everyone? I'm looking at my screen and I'm a little confused. I think that's who I have with me today. So thank you for being with me, ladies. I am so happy to see you today. So I would like to jump into it and start by asking, what is your Project Catalyst origin story? How did you find it? How did you decide to participate? And how did that feel to get started, to find Project Catalyst, to get started? What is your story? Melanie, would you like to start?
Definitely. I found Project Catalyst through my husband, who is a very active community member in Fund 7. He proposed our Urban Farmer DApp for Living Greens Urban Farm. And at that point, I wasn't really interested in it. It seemed like a pet project for him. And he was just really getting, he was having fun getting to know people and get connected. So my origin story kind of started around Fund 9 when I was in college. And I had a capstone project due, and my assignment was to develop a software as a service. And at that time, I had been doing proposal assessments and saw some things that really needed attention and developed or conceptualized a service around fixing those issues.
You're muted, Stephanie.
Thank you. Ada, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, sure. Well, my journey started actually about 2 years ago when I finally understood that I want to do something in wellness. And I was looking for opportunities and learning on one side about Web3 and searching for the organizations. Maybe I can, contribute. Maybe I can be part of something like DAOs, wellness DAOs. And there was none like last year. And so I went as a contributor to work in a longevity startup, and I was thinking to do something and just maybe startup or business. Then my boyfriend, who is also like Melanie's husband, was involved already in the Catalyst projects in the previous rounds. He said, okay, why don't you like check the projects, impact projects, especially, maybe you can do something. And then I was like, oh no, it's like, what would I know about the technology, blockchain and the stuff, even though I was really interested, and I am still. So, and when I checked, I really liked the impact projects there. They wasn't even like too technical, and then, okay, I'm gonna give it a try, And then, I wrote a proposal, and that way my journey in Catalyst started actually in well-being. Yeah, I built this community that I can say the one I couldn't find myself before. Right now we have a community from like Catalyst, other communities, people are joining, and from other even blockchain places. Yeah.
Ada, I think you might have just said the word of the day is give it a try.
Yes.
Awesome.
It was like, sorry?
And here you are.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Angela, how did you find your way to Catalyst?
My name is Angela. I'm joining you from Nairobi, Kenya, East Africa. I actually probably have a really formal story. I was referred by the dean of a university I was working at, and he was like, click this link. And I clicked the link and I fell down the rabbit hole. And so I actually ended up becoming a Plutus pioneer. I studied in the Atala Prison program, and I've been freelancing ever since. And I've had the opportunity to be involved in Project Catalyst since 1.5.
That's amazing. So was that first link just something related to the Plutus Pioneer program, or was it Catalyst specifically?
Pioneer program, yeah.
I see. That's awesome. Cool. Thank you. Mercy.
Hi, everyone. Very happy to be here with our, all the lovely people on this panel, and I'm sure in the audience as well. So my Catalyst origin story, well, I've been in Cardano sort of late 2017, 2018. And, I was listening to the previous panel, the NFT panel before us, and Maria said one thing that she said regarding sort of some of the bureaucracies and some of the middlemen that tend to be in areas like Africa and so on. So, finding a Cardano and the promise of, no middleman, sort of peer-to-peer was very appealing to me. And I always had this dream, how do I carry it? How do I help make it normal? A normal thing in some of the communities that I come from. So, I was there, sort of seeing how the Cardano roadmap was rolling out, with Shelley, Byron Shelley, and so on. And I was waiting for Voltaire, so to speak. And then I saw, I think it was a tweet about, 2018, no, 2020. There was a tweet about, hey, we want to do an experiment sort of for Voltaire implementation and rollout. And I was like, this is it. So, I signed up and became part of the first cohort, actually. And it was, it's been fantastic ever since. I was able to actually, get a few people together for us to put together what the dream is in terms of what we wanted to achieve. And, we put it in as a proposal in Fund 1, and the rest is history. At that time, it was WADA, West Africa Decentralized Alliance. And yeah, here we are.
What was that first proposal?
It was just about WADA, West Africa Decentralized Alliance. So it was all that we wanted to do was to start by training as many people as possible, in especially Sub-Saharan Africa. So developers and entrepreneurs, how do we onboard them, make it easy for them to actually also, experience the whole blockchain promise, so to speak. So yeah.
Okay, my next question is about how many rounds of Project Catalyst you have been a part of, how many funded projects, if you know that number, and what you've learned over the time that you've been participating in Catalyst. And I'm hoping that in this panel, and I think within this panel, we'll have a variety of experience. So if your answer is Fund 9 was your first experience, that's awesome. But let's, Mercy, everybody hold up your number. What was the first fund that you participated in? Mercy, you said 1, right? Okay, so I see a 7, I see a 5, 1. Okay, oh, Ada and Mercy. Oh no, not, okay, perfect. Okay, I think I'm gonna remember this. Mercy, we're gonna go in backwards order. So I'm starting with you, with our most veteran Catalyst person. Do you know how many funded projects you've been a part of? What have you learned over that time? What can you tell us about that long run in Catalyst?
Oh my gosh. So Fund 1, there was no actual money. So it was just test ADA kind of thing. Put in the proposal, and it was a great community. I think there were 50 of us that were chosen as the first. Got to know a lot of people, and since then, Fund 2 didn't get funding either. Fund 3 didn't get funding. The community actually came together. Cardano community actually came together in Fund 3. Led by Rick, and they funded us. That's another story. So it was not until Fund 4 that we actually got our first funding, and since then, as WADA, we've have been part of many funded proposals. Do I need to maybe try and give a number?
No. Only if you wish, or if you think it adds.
Awesome.
If I was understanding your story, I think what you just explained was that in Fund 3, you did not win funding, but that the community rallied around you from a different source and got you started.
The Cardano community actually, rallied around us. They saw the promise of what we wanted to do. And because we didn't get, we had been around, people supported us, but we're not getting the votes. Rick McCracken and Gary Golden, he was one of the guys in the community, said, you know what, let's do a community fundraise. And so the money that we had requested, which was, I think, 25 USD, they just said, you know what, we need 50 people to give 500 ADA each. And, they gave. So, WADA is totally a Cardano community project. People believed in our dream, and we're, so very, very grateful in terms of how that whole thing went. That first group, we call them Friends of WADA. First 50, and they are still in our plans, and we are trying to figure out what to do, just to say thank you. But it's Cardano. Cardano is for emerging economies, and Africa is one of them, obviously.
That's awesome. What an amazing origin story. Angela, I think you were next. In what was the first fund you were a part of?
Ada, did you have one?
No, she went one round.
Yeah,
Fund 9.
Fund 9.
Yes.
Okay. So I first was a part of proposing as a team in Fund 6. My first individual proposals I put in Fund 7. I didn't win any. Fund 8, I didn't win any. And I finally won an individual proposal in Fund 9. But even though I didn't win any personal ones, I was a part of teams that were successful. And so I was actually really, really blessed to be a part of the Plutus PPBL Gimbal Labs course. They were really supportive and awesome. And also I joined the Eastern Town Hall team, and I was a part of the team that runs the Eastern Town Hall for a year. So plenty of experiences within that, but perhaps I'll talk about the one I finally won all on my own. I'm so proud.
As you tell us about that, I wanted to ask, did you feel like you learned things from those first experiences that led to your ultimate success, or did you just feel like you just finally got lucky?
Absolutely, it's a skill set, writing a proposal, and it needs teamwork, it needs partnership, it needs a lot of humans to have your back. It needs for you to get people on your side and to bring people around, and that's all skill sets I was learning. It's stretched me quite a bit, and I'm grateful, but many other people won much easier, I think. So eventually I was able to be successful in my project, the Cardano Catalyst Coffee in East Africa. And so we're working with increasing veracity in coffee production in order to increase efficiency. And we're going about doing that by putting sensors into farms in Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. And so I will be closing out my proposal successfully at the end of March. And there's a ton of stuff to talk about, but I'll let the next lady go.
Thank you. Let's see, Melanie. I say your name backwards for some reason.
Congratulations, Angela, by the way, that's really exciting. Good for you. Yeah, so I've been kind of behind the scenes. So you guys, I'm not sure, you might have seen my husband, but like I said, originally it was Fund 7 where we proposed the proof of concept. We didn't win funding, although we received positive ratings and got the votes. The money ran out before it got down to us. And Fund 8, we got funded, it's been delivered, it's been closed out. We had a higher rating than the previous round. And in Fund 9, we did not get funding. However, we received higher ratings than we did the first 2 rounds. And we've pretty much delivered on everything that we had committed to for Fund 9 with our own personal resources. Yeah, so the three rounds, we got funding for the 1, and we're continuing to build.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to build your thing, right?
We got really great support from a developer in the community, and my husband had connections with another developer that is not Cardano related, so they were able to work on that together.
Love it. Ada,
yes,
joining us in
Fund
Fund 9.
Yes. And I started making mistakes from the first step, like putting the proposal on the wrong challenge. But still, it was like people were saying, of course, because of that, they were like, okay, not 5, but 4, the idea is great and we need the well-being in blockchain. But, it would be really nice if you put this in, the right challenge. And that's the #1 lesson I've learned in the Fund 9. And the next one, actually, I've learned that team building and community building, it's not that easy. Like Mercy said, it was like, in the beginning, people were coming and making them believe in the mission you are doing. It's not an easy job. Like you're talking for hours, you're explaining what you are doing, what you believe, and if they believe, they will stick together. That's the thing I've learned, and that is challenging. But like Cardano communities, I made so many friends in different communities. Actually, these were the people who actually came to the sessions, to yoga and meditation sessions, and supported us, or they would go somewhere else and support us. So it's really nice to have them. And yeah, mistakes, we are learning, and that way we can better ourselves.
Awesome. So we've had some little peeks at some pieces of your projects and what you've been working on. But as you think about all of the Catalyst projects or roles that you've been involved in Project Catalyst, tell us about one that you are the most proud of, or if there's one that when you're going to tell, a new person about what you're doing in Project Catalyst, what story do you tell about what you're doing in Project Catalyst? Yeah. Let's go to Angela.
Hey, so the name of the project is Cardano Africa Smart Farming DApp, and it's all about creating a photo-taking DApp to improve farm production efficiency in coffee using AI, IoT, ML, and robotics. And so the problem that we saw is that there's a lack of efficiency in coffee farming in Kenya, but it was equally shown in Uganda and Tanzania. Everyone loves a cup of coffee, but no one knows exactly where the cup of coffee they're drinking came from, and there's an issue with traceability. In order for us to increase traceability, we need to know every step of that coffee and where it came from, where it was shipped, where it was stored, what's its story. So I wound it all the way back to the very beginning and started with the farms. What's going on the farms on a daily basis, and can we prove that the farm is A, there, it's where it says it is, and B, it's it has the coffee production that it says it's having. And so we're busy taking, putting sensors on the farm to monitor the air temperature, the CO2, the humidity, and so on. And so we're getting some readings from those sensors every 1 hour. And so the output of that would be a DApp that has all of this information stored within it on the blockchain. And then we are able to connect the urban dwelling farm owners to real-time information on their farms so that they can make better farm management decisions. I've been working with an all-female team, and so I'm like, yay, Women's Day. And I'm so grateful they've had my back. Women really are the best and strangely reliable. And we're working towards a future where the women who pick the coffee are able to get paid properly. And you know, there's all sorts of things. They can educate their children and they can have a future.
I just have to share this now. I ate a fresh coffee bean at the Nairobi Trade Fair off a tree that was on the grounds last September. I was there. I harvested the coffee and put it in my mouth.
Know it.
That's so cool. If there, I put a link to your proposal in the chat there. If there's any other link that that you would want to share with our audience, please put that in the chat. Mercy, what is your one role or accomplishment or project that you like to tell people about?
For me and for WADA, I think it's planting roots in Africa. So that was a proposal, I believe it was in Fund 6. Just because through that proposal, we were able to actually, you know, one of the key challenges that we were realizing, well, you know, just had to do with electricity and internet. And because we wanted to build community, we wanted to expose the promise of blockchain to young people and also to onboard them to the Cardano ecosystem, we realized that that's a challenge that we need to address. So we got funding and we were able to initially, you know, there were some spaces that were donated to us. There were some spaces that we rented. We were able to put more structure in terms of compensating hub leads, put a bit more structure of what we wanted to do in terms of, you know, outreach into Sub-Saharan Africa. So planting roots in Africa, definitely our most fulfilling project. We subsequently was able to, I think in Fund 9, and Megan, one of our leads, was able to actually do a follow-up proposal, nurturing roots in Africa. And it just has to do with the fact that we just believe that we need to build the fundamentals, right? Not just to go in and then just maybe extract, so to speak, in terms of, you know, building stuff that people pay for. But we thought that we should give first, you know, prepare people, make sure that these young people in their communities know their problems, begin to start thinking and building dApps for, you know, for their communities and also for the world. So yeah, it was just being able to be funded to actually put those structures into place that is still growing and expanding has been very fulfilling for us.
Yes, I think many of us who in parts of the world where electricity and internet and space is cheap and abundant don't realize that base layer and what, you know, what a challenge that still is and how much that needs to be addressed. You know, grow Africa starts at the roots. I love that. If you have any links you want to share in the chat, please feel free, Mercy. Melanie, sure. Let's go to you.
So I would have to say, of all the roles, projects, like I said, I started as a PA, which actually inspired me to put my name in for the Catalyst Circle version 4 election. I really did not think I would even rate anywhere. I thought I was going to be 30. I had no idea that I would have actually won a seat as a representative. So that I'm very proud of. I don't have the technical acumen of the insanely intelligent programmers in this space. This community is insanely intelligent, and I'm so impressed by the level of intelligence of this community. It's just very humbling, and I like to think that I bring the people factor to the group. There were a lot of issues for myself not being technically inclined to be able to participate in the proposal assessments. And I know that the goal of Project Catalyst is to bring innovation to the space to create mass adoption of Cardano. And what I was seeing is, you know, you got this really great community of really super smart people, but you need to be able to talk to everyday people who are going to be coming here to use this space. And it wasn't friendly for people like me. I know when I was doing my assessments, I had 15 tabs open for one project. That's way too much time and effort and attention. I just don't have it. So yeah, the fact that I got voted in and I'm a representative on CCV4 is just by far my proudest accomplishment in this space. And I had no idea that I would be here.
That is so cool, but you are here. That's so awesome. Ada, to you, we know about the Wellbeing DAO. How I would like to frame this to you, sort of in light of what Melanie was just talking about, being able to explain things to people who aren't already in the space. A lot of people who are watching right now today probably do know what a DAO is, but we hope that other people might see this video as it's posted online. How do you explain what you're doing to your other friends?
Yes, that's a good question, because we always face that. So it's basically in Web 2, we also have the meditation classes, yoga classes, or the coaches who give you advices how to balance your diet or sleep. So in Web 3, it's quite new. That's why, like in the beginning, it was I was seeing some problems in Web 2, like manipulation on the websites, like advertising, you know, supplements and all those bad things. And I thought, okay, let's do a knowledge base. And to kickstart it, I did a website, but that wasn't enough. We just wanted to bring value by doing the meditations. So every Wednesday, to people not in Web 3, we can just say, okay, come and join to our relaxing sessions. And you can stay 15 minutes, 20 minutes. You're free to go whenever you want to go. And that's the easiest way. Everyone knows what it is, right? So yeah.
Good job. Love it. Okay. So now we're gonna open up a little bit, and beyond thinking about what your own projects are, as you think about the wider Catalyst ecosystem. We have all had experience looking at what other people are doing, working as a PA. Probably a couple of us have done that job. I have, I know Melanie has. As you think about the wider Catalyst ecosystem and the many funded projects that you are not personally involved with, I am curious if there is a particular team or a project that you are also excited about. Are there any projects that you're keeping an eye on, or that have inspired you, or that you think are particularly interesting? Does anyone have something that you're thinking of that you'd like to jump in?
I can start.
Yes.
I also was a proposal assessor. So I saw about Cardano woman. That way I found Juliana, and that how we made a network. And, you know, Juliana introduced me to someone else. So what they are doing actually is really great. I want to follow it. I'm also registered in their platform where you can find a mentor and mentee. At the same time, it's a great initiative for women, I think.
Yeah.
There is another one, Little Fish, and C4C is interesting. I'm time to time joining their meetings. Yeah, I can name those.
Yes, the Little Fish proposals are so cool. I do remember trying to be a proposal assessor and just thinking, I don't know where to start. There's so much going on here.
Yeah, yeah.
So interesting.
You should really dive into it.
Awesome. Mercy, I see you're off mute. Did you have something to share?
I think I'm going to go. There's so many great things that people are doing in the community. So, you know, not mentioning any of those, it doesn't mean that I'm not following and I'm not loving it. But I think that if I'll go for one, it will be a proposal that QA DAO are working on. And actually, there was an offshoot in terms of also specifically trying to trial it with WADA. And the whole idea of that proposal is, how do we measure what we're doing? You know, when we come into Catalyst, there are a lot of community members that talk about impact. You know, what kind of impact is this work that I'm doing? How is it, you know, what kind of impact in the community? And when we talk about impact, we talk about values, and those things are really very difficult to measure. So I'm just my eyes are on that proposal in terms of actually auditing not just the tangible quantitative measures, but also how do we capture our learnings qualitatively? How do we share them? How do we focus on the things that we can use to prove that our work is actually, you know, like it does work. It's actually bringing well-being into those that we are working with. So yeah, I think I'm really very interested in that project.
Awesome. Melanie, what other projects do you have your eye on, or pick one?
Am I even allowed to talk about that? I don't know. I don't want to seem biased or partial.
I know.
No, this is about just raising exposure to all the things we're excited about, things that we're doing, and what else are you excited about in the ecosystem?
One project that comes to mind, I don't know if they were funded by Catalyst or not, but I have become a little bit of an NFT nerd, or I don't know that I'm not degen status yet, but I love the block owls. And I love cornucopias. I can't wait for them to be active games to play.
I love it.
I have a bubble jet. I'm so excited. I can't wait to drive it.
I think cornucopias was at some point, I think they did get Catalyst funding, so I think that will qualify.
Cornucopias did, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I didn't want to say that, but yeah.
Yeah, the lead, I forget his name now. He was also in Fund One and very passionate about the community.
Yeah, Josh and Rob. I got to meet them at the end of TCon in Vegas last year. It was their booth was amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think it's really cool.
Passionate. Yeah.
Very cute. Thank you, Melanie. Angela, what other project do you love?
Not to bore everyone with the technical terminology, but if you're ever interested in learning about risk-adjusted bonding curves, you should check out the work that's being done by Yumi.ai. I think I'm not sure if she's left or she's still in the room, but Joe Allen, yes, she's there. Say hey, Joe. I am involved in the project, so I don't think it counts. But anyway.
Say the term again. Risk adjusted
bonding curves.
Bonding curves?
Yeah.
Is there a 2-sentence follow-on explanation?
Basically, what happens when you're done with Project Catalyst and you don't get the next fund? What happens when you try again and again? What are you supposed to do? So it's a way of getting people to speculate on projects, and then using the risk adjusted bonding curve, figure out if it's complicated. Okay, I'm saying it wrong, but people get a second chance to back you on a project, and I think that's fascinating for anyone who hasn't quite managed to be funded in order. And so they're looking at projects that have impact in the real world and impact in carbon and impact in the general goodness and, you know, more of the positive vibes. I would be looking out for that over the next couple of years.
Very cool. Thank you for that. Okay. So we're all big fans of Project Catalyst, but there's always room for improvement. What changes would you like to see in the Project Catalyst system or community in the future? And or how do you think these changes will come about? Ada's just popping off mute, just ready to get in there. What is did you? Ada, I saw you come off mute.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all right, because I was even before wanted to reach out someone in Cardano and suggest maybe there it would be lovely to see, you know, Cardano to organize once in a while some meetups among impact projects with the same mission. Let's say if it's wellness, I know some of the projects in wellness in Cardano, and we can come up together and see what we can do for each other, help each other, and learn from each other. And that would be really nice. That's just a suggestion. I don't know what else I can add. So I was looking for an opportunity to ask or reach out, maybe write about this. Thank you for giving this.
We don't know the how, but we're putting that energy out in the universe. Get those impact projects talking to each other. That's such a great idea.
Yeah.
Who else? Mercy.
Oh, so it's energy into the universe, right? Because if this could happen, I'll be very, very happy. Anyway, so one big ask or wish that I would have for Catalyst is just you know, a bit more consistency when it comes to the great work that teams are doing. Because the way that you know, the way that things are going right now, or have been going maybe over the past 2-3 funding rounds, it's been very difficult for some groups, especially, you know, whether it's governance, whether it's community building, education, and so on. These things that are, you know, really, really important if we are serious about building something that lasts, you know, on Cardano, hasn't really got funding because, you know, the priorities have been elsewhere. So for me, let's just figure out a way to make sure that teams that are building have consistent funding. And maybe the way to do it is I would recommend George's work, so George Lovegrove. So basically he's been talking about these funding categories. So instead of challenge categories, he's more looking at funding categorizations, which would work out to basically, you know, so if there is a governance as a challenge in fund, say 10, it would carry on for, who knows, maybe 3 or 4.
That it wouldn't just disappear in the next fund.
Exactly. And then, you know, whether it's education, that also carries off a little bit. And then, you know, that helps with giving consistency for all the great teams building within Catalyst and within the Cardano ecosystem. So yeah, that's my thing into the into the universe.
That is so well put. Yes, I resonate with that. Very good. Melanie, what would you like to see grow and change in the Catalyst universe?
Yeah, I kind of spoke on it a little bit before with the whole 15 tabs open when I was trying to do the assessments. But even as just a voter, and I'm not sure how that's going to change or not, but most people come here and it's a part-time participation where they're doing it after they've done their full-time job out in the world. So I would like to see all of the user experience in the Project Catalyst be more approachable, intuitive, and streamlined, just so that it's easier to digest all of the vital information. It's just hard to track it all down.
Yeah. Yep. Angela.
Not sure if I'm going to be too honest here, but hopefully.
Be honest. Be honest.
Sounds like you're already being honest. Let's just keep it up.
Yeah. Mean boys, just being mean. I've been hit in the face with more male elbows than you would believe in this particular space. And I'm not sure exactly what would solve that, or what makes people so cutthroat and unpleasant. But it's such a relief to be in a room full of women. And it shouldn't be that serious, I don't think, considering that we are trying to move forward to a better future. We need all sorts of voices and all sorts of opinions and all sorts of people with time availability. Because another thing that I faced is I'm on the Eastern Hemisphere of the world. These late night meetings are a lot to make happen consistently. And if I move over to the Eastern Hemisphere and the Eastern Town Hall, IOHK doesn't support that. There's no timings that you can meet with them on that side of the world. And so two things: mean boys and Eastern Hemisphere support, I think.
So good. We have landed on the nose at the Q&A portion of our panel as we roll into the home stretch of Women in Cardano today. We do have a question in the side panel. For someone who is new in the ecosystem, what are the obstacles one must overcome in order to have a proposal approved? What do you tell someone new in the ecosystem who wants to get in there and participate and get some funding?
Can I add or answer, or at least add my my experience? Just getting involved in the community and joining those community spaces and making those connections, and just being visible, which can be difficult because it does feel like a full-time job sometimes. But yeah, that's the secret to success for us is it was my husband's ability to be in all the different places talking about our project and making those connections.
Yeah. Few of you have mentioned just the power of community and those human connections.
I think another thing too is just sticking with it. Many of us here, I think all of us here, it didn't work out the first time. Sometimes not even the second or the third time. But the power of a dream. When a time has come for something, whoever's dream, there's really nothing that can stop it. So what I'll say is just it can be really crashing when you don't get funding on the first try or second try. But as you keep iterating, putting out your dreams out there, finding people who align with you, it will eventually come to pass. So yeah, that's what I'll say. Just stick to it and just keep trying.
Angela, what words of encouragement would you have for someone who is trying to get the first proposal approved?
A part of playing the Catalyst game is you have to show your face. To become known. I've struggled with that quite a bit, usually because it's late at night and I'm in my pajamas and I just can't be bothered. And so, to be honest, getting in the room, speaking to people, finding out, collaborating, also clarifying what it is that you're really after, that takes quite a while to narrow in terms of focus. But I would like to, at this point, speak to any female coders, of which there aren't many in this space, or future female coders. And I think the tech can only be built around the personalities that build it. And so if all the personalities are really similar, or they're from a similar worldview, then the tech is just going to continue in a similar way. And so it'll definitely crack your head several times, but I would really strongly encourage women to get involved in learning more of the tech and in figuring it out and researching and being curious. I think curiosity is key. And as Mercy said, consistency and just sticking with it. I've grown so much in this space, and I'm grateful. I'm so grateful for the opportunity. And I would absolutely love it if the next generation had much less of a struggle than I did to get into this space.
Melanie, something you said earlier to a different question, I think is relevant to the newcomer thinking about getting a proposal approved, which is being able to explain your ideas in a way that Melanie and Stephanie can understand, right? Being technical people, but being able to speak to everybody who's trying to participate and trying to get involved. Ada, did you have any advice to the newcomer?
I think studying the challenge is one thing, and then putting the proposal to the right challenge. And also assessing the proposals. By that you can learn a lot of things. And you can also study maybe the granted proposals in the previous rounds, and then see what these guys did right, maybe. And
I did that. I looked at proposal that had been funded and looked at how they structured it, and borrowed some things. Yeah, learned from what other successful people had done.
Yeah, but also it doesn't mean that everyone is doing as they promised, So yeah, just have an idea, and you can learn. There are lots of the communities. You can learn blockchain, you can learn other technical stuff, like especially women. Don't be scared. As a non-techie myself, I'm learning. Yes, definitely.
Just try it. With that, I think we have someone's going to come up here and conclude our event today. So just let me say thank you for participating. I'm so happy to have met all of you in person. You are all names that I've seen in Twitter, in in Project Catalyst proposals and have admired your work. And so it has just really been fun to meet you, and I look forward to seeing you more in the future.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. Thanks.
Hello, everybody. So I am back. So wow, that was really, really great. I always find when I go to a Cardano event, whether it's online, in person, I always just feel so energized afterwards. I'm always so excited about what we're doing in this space. And it really even makes the next few weeks of working and being part of this community so exciting. So thank you very much to all of our panelists today and our moderators. It was really, really great to see. And I think a few people have mentioned it's so unusual to see so many women in the one space. That was really, really empowering as well, even for me personally. Just I want to say a quick thank you as well to Omar, Alice and Pravin, who are working diligently in the background to make sure everything ran really smoothly and put a lot of work in to make sure this event happened. So last year I was in the foundation and we were saying we must do something like this. So it's great to see something like this actually happening now. And as you can see by the big smile on my face, I'm really delighted. The other thing I want to say is that, you know, a lot of things that came up is community is really, really important. And I think there was a quote by a famous American feminist writer called Audre Lorde. And she said, community, what did she said? Without community, there is no liberation. And I think we should all kind of keep that in mind here this evening. And everyone to kind of reach out to the people you saw this evening, connect with them on Twitter. If something sparked an interest in you, if you want to learn more, reach out. This is the beginning of a community of women working together on Cardano. So the next Let's Talk Cardano event will be scheduled soon. So keep an eye out for that, everyone. We don't have a date just yet, but no doubt that'll be coming soon. So thank you so much, everyone. And till the next time. Bye.